Welcome. Welcome to listen Annie to speak ghost story. The story began on the night of July 14. In the Chinese lunar calendar, that day is called Ghost Day. On that night, the streets were full of smoke because some superstitious people burning ghost money on the road to comfort the ghosts. A young man just walked on the road and saw the superstitious people were burning ghost money to make everywhere very mess. He didn't like them. The young man, he lost his temper and he shouted them. He ridiculed them and said, "Do you think ghosts will use this money? It is better to keep its use for yourself." He kept the ghost money and laughed, insult them and tease them. Suddenly, gusts of wind blew a large amount of ghost money on the young man's body, and one of the passed on his eye. He was scared, immediately taking out everything. And that time, a horror and a weird thing began to happen. He really did not expect that when he took the ghost money away, he can saw some white and bad shadow of different shades everywhere. He was scared. And then he continued thinking, oh, maybe my eyes have a problem. He continued rubbing his eye. But all shade still exist, did not disappear. He began to feel chills and tremors. Suddenly, he felt something close behind him. And then his whole body was shaking. He didn't know how to do that, but he enthused as if even nothing happened and moved on. But the ghost stayed behind of him and walking together on the road. The young man, hearing terrified voice behind him, and speaking with him. He really couldn't bear it, so he looked back. But after taking a look, he saw a skull and bones following him. He was really frightened. Wanted this, but he suddenly remembered one old man had said, "It is bad not to talk unlucky and offensive speech on the ghost festival. So, as not to provoke the evil soul, he thought that it's time I should be suffering from the evil soul. I must have opened my yin-yang eye." What is yin-yang eye? In Chinese explain, it means that you can see ghosts and other people cannot see it. Only you can see it. He thought, what should I do? So he decided to pretend couldn't see the ghost and still move forward. But the ghost seemed to know that the young man saw him. The ghost kept asking him, "Do you see me? Do you see me? Do you see me? I know you must have seen me." Repeat again, asking the young man. And testing him. He really didn't know, he didn't want to look at that scary the face anymore. He finally couldn't suffer that feeling and asked the ghost, "What do you want? What do you want?" The ghost said to him, "I was killed by somebody, and my body was found in the riverside without being found. Can you help me tell my family to looking for me and tell them help me to bury my body properly?" The ghost promised him, saying that if you can help me complete this master, I will no longer to disturb you. I promise you, I will leave you alone and never to tell other ghosts to come to for help. Are you okay? The young man believed the promise the ghost said and thought it really helped him, so no other ghosts would bother him. So the young man agreed. The ghost, and then he really tell his family looking his body. Finally, when the master was settled, the young man ran home immediately, thinking all the time on the road, I helped the ghost to do everything and nothing should happen again. Yes, nothing again. The young man took 9 years for that the ghost would keep his promise. He believed things have come to the end. Who didn't know? It turned out that the ghost, he did not to keep the promise. Informed all the other ghosts and then tell them this young can help you and help you to solve out any problem. Unfortunate thing, out of control. When he was running halfway home, he suddenly felt a lot of weight and bad shadow. And then different the shape, different the shadow, and the rushing up around him. He felt that something was wrong. Something must be happened. He felt very scared. How to do that? He felt shaking. And then I'm unable to move. The ghosts from all around keep folding out and rushing forward to the young man, constantly surrounding him. Lot of the ghosts. When the young man saw a lot of the thing happen, he was scared, very scared. And suddenly, his heart was beating very fast, and uncontrollable. When he saw man's scary face, he was very scared to die. He died. He fell on the street until he was discovered in the morning. I want to tell you, you have to remember, never make a deal or promise with ghosts.
The tale begins with Louis Dongbin, one of the 8 immortals. Now he disguises himself as a Tangyun vendor at the Broken Bridge near the West Lake in Hangzhou. Tangyun is a type of glutinous rice ball dessert. Very delicious, I hear. Now let's meet Qi Yan. Now he's a good-natured boy, you know. So, one day, he comes across this peddler near the West Lake and buys some tangyun from him. He then eats them and just carries on with his daily life. The day passes and he doesn't eat. He just doesn't feel hungry. Another day passes and again, he just did not feel hungry. After the 3rd day of not eating and still with no desire to, he thought, hang on, This can't be right. So he goes back to the broken bridge to find some answers. You see, what he doesn't know is that the tang yin he ate was actually immortality pills in disguise. He asked Lui Dongbin why, and Lui Dongbin just laughed. He then picks up Shui Xuan, carries him to the top of the bridge, flips him upside down, gives him a shake, and causes him to vomit. And soon, the pills were out of his stomach and into the lake. Now, in this lake lives a white female snake spirit who practices Taoist magical arts. As each pill slowly drifted down the waters, they eventually catch her eye. She eats the pills and gains spiritual magical powers, 500 years worth, can you believe? As a Taoist spirit, she has been searching for immorality her whole life, and now feels such an immense gratitude and spiritual connection with Xu Xuan, and so their fates now become intertwined. There was also a tortoise spirit, also doing some training in the lake, who did not manage to eat any of the pills, and he grew very jealous of the white snake. One day, whilst travelling in the human realm, the white snake sees a beggar on the bridge. The beggar's caught a green snake and wants to dig out the snake's gall and sell it. Pitying the green snake, the white snake transforms herself into a human and buys the green snake from the beggar, thus saving its life. The green snake is so grateful to the white snake for her intervention that she swears to follow her until the end of time, regarding the white snake as now her elder sister. Years pass after this incident, and the white and green snake has since transformed themselves into two young, beautiful women. They called themselves Bai Sujun, meaning white and purity, and Xiaochun, meaning little green, like a nickname, I suppose, respectively. So the names were associated with the colour of the snake's skin. Now, 18 years later or so, during the Qingming festival, this is the season where the Chinese go to sweep the tombs to commemorate their ancestors. They coincidentally came across Xi Xian at the broken bridge again in Hangzhou. And it begins to rain, hard. And Xu Xuan kindly lends them his umbrella. Xu Xian and Bai Sujun gradually fall in love and later get married. Xu Xian and Bai Sujun then move to Zhenjiang, where they settle down and open up a medicine shop. However, the turtle spirit has since learned enough of the Taoist arts to accumulate enough power to take on human form now. He decides to take on the form of a Buddhist monk called Fa Hai. Still angry with Bai Sujun for taking the pills, he plots to break up her relationship with Xu Xuan. He approaches Xu Xuan and tells him that during the Duanwu festival, which is the Dragon Boat Festival, that his wife should drink Rialga wine, an alcoholic drink commonly drunk during that festival. Now, Rialga wine is traditionally believed to repel harmful creatures and spirits during a time of year that's plagued by poisonous creatures. The ingredients of this wine is often used as a powder to get rid of the snakes. So, Bai Sujun unsuspectingly drinks the wine and reveals her true form as a large white snake. Xu Xuan dies of shock after seeing his wife is not human and has been a serpent all along. Bai Sujun and her loyal Xiaochun then travel to Mount Emei, one of the 4 sacred Buddhist mountains of China, where also many martial arts traditions originated, don't you know? So they brave much danger to steal a magical herb to restore Xu Xuan to life. After coming back to life, Xu Xuan then confesses that he still loves Bai Sujun, despite knowing her true nature. With his plan now foiled, Fa Hai then tries to separate them, again by capturing Xu Xuan and imprisons him at the Jinshan temple to try and bait his wife along. So Bai Sujun and Xiaochun then fight with Fa Hai to rescue Hui Xuan. During this battle, Bai Sujun then uses her powers to flood the temple, causing much collateral damage and drowning many innocent people in the process. She wanted her husband back, safe and sound. However, her powers are already limited because she is actually pregnant with Xu Shan's child, so she fails to save her husband. Later, Shui Xuan then manages to escape his imprisonment from the Jinshan temple and reunite with Bai Suzhen in time for a son. And then their son, Xu Mengjiao, then is born. Now this name is quite a great name because it refers to a mythical creature in between a dragon and a snake. So they were so happy to be reunited just in time. But however, as such, the happiness is short-lived as Fa Hai now tracks them down in Hangzhou and defeats Bai Sujun, imprisoning her in the Leifeng Pagoda. Xiaochun then flees and vows revenge. 20 years later, Xu Mengjiao then passes the imperial examinations and earns the position of top scholar. And this is the highest level of success in the whole empire. He returns home in glory to tell of his good news. Meanwhile, Xiaochun had since spent years refining her powers, determined to save her elder sister. When the time came, she goes to Jinshan Temple to confront Fa Hai and defeats him. Bai Sujun is finally freed from the Leifeng Pagoda and is reunited with her husband and son, whilst Fa Hai flees and ends up hiding in the stomach of a crab, although some say he actually got eaten by a crab. But I'll let you decide.
Of course, Britannia Panopticon, being the oldest music hall in the world, is also the most haunted. We have many spooks, oh yes we do. People have seen the woman in black up on the balcony, or the soldier in red on the other side. Some people have seen disembodied legs, disembodied heads, and even a leprechaun. But the most famous ghost of the Britannia Panopticon is Solomon. Now, Solomon is not an ordinary ghost. He is not the ghost of a man, or the ghost of a child, or the ghost of a woman, or even a man dressed as a woman, or a woman dressed as a man. Solomon is the ghost of a chimpanzee. He was brought to the Panopticon in 1908 by Mr. A.E. Pickard. He was the manager of the Panopticon at the time, and he was just opening a brand new zoo in the basement called Noah's Ark. Well, Solomon was meant to be the leading star attraction, and he certainly was. You see, he was the son of another chimpanzee called Consul. And Consul from France was very famous indeed, well known for his well-dressed and good manners and etiquette. Well, Solomon was just the same. He was always to be seen in the latest of fashions, generally in a top hat and tails and pinstripe trousers. He even wore his own pocket watch. He went to church on Sundays and was married to another chimpanzee by the name of Betsy. Betsy and Solomon loved the attention they got. People queued in their thousands to see them every day. Betsy loved flirting with men. She would stroke their faces through the bars and kiss their lips, and while she distracted them, Solomon would pick their pockets. Well, it seems that Solomon has been picking pockets ever since, because many a time in the Panopticon we find things go missing and reappear in the most mysterious and unexpected of places. Take, for example, when the Glasgow City Council photographer came to photograph the Panopticon for the Radiance Festival in 2005. He had with him his ordinary 35mm digital camera, his SLR, but he also has a brand new little miniature digital camera. This was brand new technology at the time. Well, he was up in the balcony photographing with his big SLR, and he had left the little digital camera sitting on the edge of the balcony. Well, he took all his pictures all around the auditorium, and then he reached for the little digital camera, and guess what? It was gone. Well, me and that photographer, we looked all over the place, high and low, all through the seating, on the floors, just in case it had been kicked into a corner. We even checked in the stalls below because there was a hole at the front of the balcony. Perhaps it had fallen down there. But to no avail, the camera had disappeared mysteriously. Well, a week passed, and then 2 weeks passed, and I forgot about the incident with the camera until I had some students from the Royal Conservatoire. Well, it was the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama then. Well, I was just about to show the students how to play George, the pianola. Now, a pianola is like a piano, only you don't just play it with your hands, you can also play it with your feet. Yeah, you put in a roll of music and pedal away, and the roll goes round and triggers the hammer onto the notes. Well, I was just about to press the pedal when all of a sudden it went clunk. Now that's not the right noise, I thought, so I lifted the lid and looked inside. And what do you think I should find? Why, of course, the little digital camera. Well, I phoned the photographer at the council and told him that obviously Solomon had taken it and decided to hide it. I don't think the photographer believed me though. Now, being a haunted music hall, we do attract a lot of ghost clubs and psychic investigators. And one of my favourite seances happened way back in the early noughties. Yes, it was the occasion that the Scottish Centre for Psychical Research came to visit and do an all-night vigil. Now, the Scottish Society for Psychical Research is quite an organised and professional body associated with the University of Glasgow. They came well prepared to either prove or disprove the existence of ghosts. They had all kinds of equipment for measuring and recording psychic activity and any strange phenomenon. Well, soon after they arrived, they had asked me if they could borrow a few artifacts from the displays in the auditorium. I said, yes, of course you could. Well, Chris DeRosa, who was one of the party, he's a magician and a member of the Ghost Club. He selected 6 objects. Now, these 6 objects included a ring, a coin, a fly button, and a brooch. Now, these items, along with a couple of other bits and pieces, we took downstairs to the bingo underneath the music hall and at the back of the amusement arcade. You see, Solomon, our ghost, he loved haunting the bingo. You could say it was his favourite haunt, in fact. Well, the experiment was that Chris would place the objects on a piece of paper and draw around them. We would then leave the objects, go away for a few hours, and then when we come back, if the objects had been moved by the ghosts, we'd be able to tell because they would have moved away from the pencil marks, and we could measure the psychic energy as a result. Well, when we got down to the bingo, there wasn't enough floor space, so we cleared out all of the furniture and we piled it all up in the amusement arcade. Chris placed a piece of paper down on the ground, put the objects on the paper and drew around them with the pencil. We then went back upstairs and continued the vigil with the rest of the organisation. We sat in various areas of the auditorium, but never did anybody go off on their own. It was far too dangerous in the building at that time to leave people on their own. So we generally sat in various corners and the machines recorded all sorts of crazy things. We had the disembodied voice of a man, a guttural, deep voice, laughing and chuckling through the voice recorder. We saw disembodied legs floating at the level of the stage. Yes. We recorded all kinds of strange kinetic energy, particularly a force field around my office door. It was a very protective spirit, though. The evening went wonderfully. They saw and recorded all kinds of activity and were so excited with all of their findings. And then at the end of the night, Chris reminded us that we had a little experiment going on downstairs in the bingo. It was with great excitement that we all decided as one body, there was about 8 of us, to go down the stairs and see if anything had happened to the objects on the paper. We opened the door between the auditorium and the back stone stairwell, and suddenly the atmosphere changed. It no longer felt the friendly, warm, excited atmosphere that we had had in the auditorium. Now it was cold and dark. We walked down the stairs in the gloom of the emergency lighting, and with each step we took, the air seemed to get colder and colder and colder. As we came down to the bottom stairs, it seemed that there was a charge of static electricity that rushed up the stairwell. The hairs on our arms stood on end and on the back of our necks. Suddenly, we all felt trepidation. We got to the bottom of the stairs. Chris was the first there. He slowly, carefully opened the door. It creaked, or rather groaned, as he slowly opened it. We all stepped inside cautiously, and what we saw froze us to the very spot. For there, on the floor, the damn objects hadn't moved a single micromillimeter. However, all of the furniture that we had piled up in the amusement arcade was now back perfectly in its original place in the bingo. So that's what you get if you have a chimpanzee haunting your place. Yes, monkey business.
Hey, why are you walking alone here by yourself?
Are you asking me? I doubt you can resolve my problems.
Well, tell me. Perhaps I can help you.
Okay, I will tell you. But please, do not tell anyone else. My poor parents sold me to a rich man's household for money. This man lived a luxury life, whilst his wife became cruel and jealous, beating me every night.
That's awful.
I couldn't bear it anymore. I ran away and now I'm lost.
Where are you going?
I'm not sure. I have no place to go and no one to turn to.
My home is just here. You could always stay here for a while.
That would be perfect. Thank you.
Great. I didn't catch your name.
It's Mei Qing.
You'll probably be wanting to stay in my private study, if that's okay.
Yes, it sounds like an excellent place. But I must ask you if it would be okay to keep my presence here a secret from your family. Do not tell anyone. My life depends on it.
Of course, I promise. But I'm sure my family will help in any way they can.
No, you must not utter a word about me. I never want to go back. It's been a busy day. I must rest.
Oh, sure. Well, you can sleep in my study.
Thank you. Good night.
What will happen if my wife finds out? Surely she can help.
Wang, I can't believe it. You are keeping the girl in your private study.
It's only for a short time. I can't send her back to such a cruel, heartless family. She's in danger.
That's what she says. This will bring nothing but trouble. You must send her back.
I can't. I'd never forgive myself.
Then send her someone else. This is just going to end badly. I can feel it. Anyway, don't forget you are to go to the market tomorrow. I hope this girl has not distracted you.
Of course.
You there, stop where you are. There's something troubling you. Have you encountered some strange spectre?
Nothing. I've no idea what you're talking about.
Nothing? No, that's not true. You have been wrapped in an evil aura. Something has bewitched you. I can smell it. A ghost has taken hold of you.
It's ridiculous. Nothing has. Let go of me.
You poor fool. Men always blind themselves to the truth, even if it's staring them right in the face. You must protect yourself. There is evil afoot. Bewitched, you will come back to find me.
That was peculiar. Can't possibly be talking about that girl I saved. Oh, what horrible. The girl can't possibly be a ghost. Back home.
Just a few more touches.
Yes. Hey, Chen? Is that you?
Who's there? What human do I smell?
Don't believe it. Can't be. No, it cannot be. She's a ghost. She's to find help. That Taoist must be able to help.
Where are you, young man? Was that you I sensed nearby? I'm sure that was him. I smelled his fear, and it smelled delicious.
Please, help me. You're late. Help me get rid of this ghost. I feel like my life will end.
I'll try. I cannot end her life. That has already happened many centuries ago. However, I can help drive her away. Here, take this talisman. Stick it outside your bedroom door. It should hopefully stop the ghost from entering your room. I need to do some preparation first. I will meet you at your home.
Thank you.
Where have you been all day?
I went to see the Taoist. He has given me this talisman to stick on our bedroom door.
Huh? Why did you go and see the Taoist?
I'm starting to feel that something evil's in the air.
Is there something you're hiding? I could feel it too.
You have nothing to fear.
What is that noise?
It's me, Chen. You'd better run.
What? I knew that girl would bring trouble.
I'm sorry. Seems like she was a ghost after all.
Talisman? Nothing can stop me. Not when I'm so close.
How? What do you want?
I need to feed.
Leave us alone, ghost. Let go of me. My heart.
A young man's heart is what I need. Who is my next target?
No! Whoa!
Wang, oh no!
The ghost killed my husband.
I'm sorry, Shen. There was no more I could have done for him. I was too late. Once a ghost is hungry, it's difficult to stop them.
What should I do? We should know we need to kill it.
I cannot kill her, but we can try to imprison her.
And you can do that?
I think so. Come back, you ghost, and return to your underworld. I know you're in here somewhere. 像喷姐们，是为见得根。
You dare cast a spell upon me? I will tear out your heart too.
Begone, hobgoblin! Never step on our doorsteps again. Wu wei are, wu bu wei.
How dare you? Ah!
I will trap you within this gourd.
No, I'm not staying in the gourd.
I demand you take residence, or else I will summon you back to the underworld.
No!
Lu Xie, Fu Mei. There, it is trapped. For good.
Is it gone?
It is gone for now, Chen.
My husband Wang, can you bring him back? I'll do anything. Please bring my husband back.
I can't, I'm sorry. It's beyond my power.
Please, I beg of you. I want him back.
I cannot raise the dead, but I can tell you of one that can help you. Seek him out and ask.
Who? Who do I ask?
There is a madman that lives in the slum, a beggar.
A beggar?
Yes, but he's not what he seems. However, you must beg him. If he insults you, you must not go against him. This man will help you with his supernatural ability.
I will find this beggar and bring my husband back to this world.
What brings a lady like you around this area?
Are you the beggar that lives here? I heard you can bring back the dead. A ghost has taken my husband's life. Can you please bring him back? I beg you.
There's plenty of fine men in this world. Why don't you just pick one of them?
No, I can't. Can you please bring him back to this world? I'll do anything.
You're very strange. Who do you think I am? The king of the underworld? What do you take me for? I'm just a poor beggar. Go away.
Please, please bring him back.
Very well. Now, take this apple and eat it. If you do, your husband will return.
Huh? Are you being serious?
Yes. Or do you doubt me?
No, I can't go against him. No, I don't doubt you. Give me the apple. I will eat.
You really are an unusual woman. Go back home and see your husband.
I hope I've done the right thing. Wang? No, it cannot be. He's still dead. And I ate that disgusting apple for nothing. I can't believe I'm such a fool. I should never have trusted him. What I was thinking. I feel sick. There's something in my throat. What is this? Is his heart? Do I mean to put back his heart? Let me try. Wang, can you hear me? Are you there? Wang! Wang, it's once you come back.
It's like a horrible dream. I was drifting away. All I could feel was this pain in my heart.
You have it back now. You are actually back from the dead.
Thank you. I'm glad I was saved.
Come now, you must be hungry.
Whose skin will I take next? I'm a spirit, and I need to feast.